Hey, alright everybody, how's it going? Now, my last couple of videos, I've been having a go at some other YouTubers for saying certain things in a certain narrative, but I thought today I'd do something a bit more upbeat, something a bit more uplifting, maybe some good news about electric cars, just to balance out the narrative. So here we go. I got a few stories lined up. I'll read them out, see what you think. I think they're quite nice. Let's have a look. So the first story, I got it on my tablet by here, is a Queensland woman uses electric car to run her son's dialysis machine during a power cut. Now, that is the fantastic thing about electric cars. Some of them are starting to have this sort of vehicle to grid, so you can power your house. You can actually power your house from the electric car, and if it's a full battery, I think it can power a normal house for up to 3 days. I'm not too sure about American house, because a lot of American houses are massive compared to UK houses. UK houses are quite small compared to American ones. But anyway, so let's just say it powers your house for 3 days. But she said it was a massive power cut in Queensland, in Australia. The power went down after the storms and flash flooding on Christmas Day. A lot of the people didn't have power, and some of the people with electric vehicles could power their house, their fridge, etc. But this woman here says the woman on the Gold Coast used a BYD electric car to power her 11-year-old son's dialysis machine after the power shut off on Christmas Day. Fantastic. So like I said, I think in the future, you know, if electric cars become more and more and more, people could power their batteries. You know, your car becomes like a battery bank. And if it is a power cut for an hour or two, you know, if you look at the UK, power cuts don't usually last that long. They're quite short. I can't remember the last time I had one where I live, but some parts of the country get more than others. But imagine having your car outside and you can plug your house into your car, and your house, you keep the fridge on, you keep watching TV. It's fantastic, isn't it? Anyway, let's look at another story. Let's have a look at this one. Right, okay, so the next story is Sainsbury's launches Smart Charge, new ultra-rapid service to build confidence in public EV charging. Now, this is Sainsbury's, and they're going to do their own chargers. I think they're going to brand them themselves, I think. I haven't read the whole story yet. I should have read it before I started talking. But I'll put it up on the screen as I talk along. So let me just have a look down here. Sainsbury's has today launched Smart Charge, a brand new dedicated EV charging business that will give drivers access to ultra-rapid charging EV points across its stores. A bold move illustrates the retailer's commitment to the EV industry while providing an exciting new service for drivers. So what they're saying by here is they're going to go full speed ahead and put lots of chargers in Sainsbury's. I mean, Tesco's have put one in. I think Tesco's were in cahoots with VW, I think it was, Volkswagen, and they put in, was it Pod Point? I might be wrong here, but they put on in certain chargers in Tesco's. Sainsbury's are going to do it, but they're talking about 150 kilowatt rapid chargers, which is good. I'm not quite sure how many. It's probably going to be rolled out over a certain amount of time. But anyway, another bit of good news. So anyway, let's have a look at another story. Okay, so this story's from the AA, and they're talking about electric cars running out of battery charge. They said that has dropped massively from years ago when electric cars first came out. Now people say, when I say people, you know who I mean, the anti-EV club on YouTube. They say the charging infrastructure, it hasn't got any better. It just hasn't got any better, right? That's what they say. But it has got better because there's more chargers around. And this study by the AA proves it's not just the chargers got better, the battery ranges have gone longer as well. So I think the people running out of battery power in EVs was a lot higher years ago when it first started. Now it's down to, I think it says by just 2.3% of EV callouts by the AA were for EV flat batteries. Now, it does go on to say somewhere that... I got a bit of a funny throat there. It does go on to say a little bit further on something about people obviously still running out of petrol, so they get called out for that as well. And the EV people running out of batteries and people running out of petrol, is the percentages come in close to each other. And I said, as more chargers roll out, that number will be similar, or maybe less, it says in you, in the future. Because, you know, the future is unwritten. We don't know what the future holds, so it could be different. But anyway, that's a good story too. So let's have a look at something else. Right, okay, here's another story. The BT had to repurpose First Street cabinets as electric vehicle charging stations. So BT are going to take, I think, is all their unused old cabinets and turn them into charging stations, or, you know, charging points, I suppose. So, I mean, if you look in the news, I mean, if you're an anti-EV type of person, you won't be looking at these stories. You'll be looking at anti-EV stories. So all these good stories sort of go past anti-EV people because they don't want to know. They don't want to know about... It's a bit like your Google search, isn't it, right? If you look for bread and butter recipes, Google will know you're looking for bread and butter recipes, and it'll show you lots of stories about bread and butter. So if you're looking for negative stories about electric vehicles, that's all you're going to see. If you're looking for positive stories, it'll show. You know what I mean. So anti-EV people don't really see the positives; they only see the negatives. And I suppose you could say people who are super duper pro EV maybe only see the positives and don't see the negatives. I don't know. But I do read the negatives. But let me just go back to this. So BT, they're going to repurpose all their street cabinets, the ones that are not being used, I suppose. I don't know if that's a bit like where they're using the lampposts and stuff. I don't exactly know how high-powered they be, but the more chargers, the merrier. Now, there's another story just popped into my head, and I just remembered it as well, is Blaenau Gwent, the council, there's a council in Wales, one county, Blaenau Gwent, they're trialling on-street charging, and they've asked people to take part who have got electric vehicles in the Blaenau Gwent area, and then ask them to write in, and they're going to trial chargers on the curb. So it'll be on the edge of the curb, I think, so nobody's going to trip over wires or anything. Because as soon as you mention chargers on the curbs, people go, oh, lawsuit, people are going to trip over wires. But I think they're talking about it'll be at the side of the curb, so there's no chance of tripping over wires, unless somebody walks around them like an idiot, like the wrong way. But anyway, so they're trialling that in Blaenau Gwent, for people like in terraced houses and whatnot, because people in terraced houses always say, how are we going to charge, right? So Blaenau Gwent put out a call. Anybody in the Blaenau Gwent area got electric cars, do you want to join in this programme? And that was on Facebook. And then you go down to the comments section and everybody's moaning about it. Can you believe it? People moan about where are we going to charge in terraced houses. So the council say, hey, we got a solution for you. And then they moan about that solution. They go, oh, people are going to trip on cables. And other people were pointing out, no, the cables will be on the other side. Then people are going, yeah, but if I live in a terraced house, I can't always park outside my house. Now, think about it logically. If, for instance, people, in the end, everybody did have electric vehicles, you'd want to park outside. Everybody would want to park outside their house then, wouldn't they? So it'd all work out in the end. And you don't have to charge every day either. Anyway, so that was another positive story. Now, there is a negative story that I heard yesterday from Jeffrey, and that was something to do with Hertz rental in the USA. Why he's getting all excited about rental cars in the USA, I don't know, but he did get excited about it. He seemed overly happy that they were getting rid of electric cars from their Hertz fleet, which is a weird... Remember now, he says... It's turned into a rant again, isn't it? I tried to keep this positive, and the end bit's turning into a rant. But he seemed quite smug and happy that they were getting rid of electric cars from the Hertz lineup in the USA. They're getting rid of quite a few electric cars. I'll try and put the article by the side of me here. And so he was quite happy in a way, but he keeps saying he don't hate electric vehicles, yet he was happy to see this, so I don't know. But it turns out that Hertz are getting rid of some of the electric fleet because of repairs. Isn't it? It's not servicing. Servicing is cheap with electric cars, but because they're renting the cars out, they're getting damaged one way or another, and the repairs are a bit expensive compared to a cheap petrol car, I suppose. So that's the reason why they're sort of easing back on electric cars. And funny thing is, I've been having a lot of comments on my other videos. They must have all watched Jeff's video on the Hertz rental cars, because they're all piling on going, meh, it's the end of electric cars. Now, I'm old enough, well, I'm really old enough to remember back to 2011 when the first Nissan Leafs came out, and it's turned into a rant, haven't it? I was trying to be positive. So I remember back in 2011 when the first Nissan Leafs came out and the first electric cars. And people then, it was anti-EV people back then, and they were saying, nobody wants to buy an electric car, right? And as the years went by, people bought electric cars. And even today, people are buying electric cars. But, so that's 2011 to today, right? It's, what's that, 13 years? Over the 13-year period, people have been saying, I remember all these things I read before. They've been saying nobody wants to buy electric cars. But the word nobody means nobody. Doesn't it? The word nobody means nobody, right? Obviously somebody's buying electric cars. So how can you use the word nobody's buying electric cars when somebody's buying electric cars? I don't know. I don't know where this video's gone now. I think I'm going to end it. So anyway, a bloody Hertz thing popped in my head, and it was bloody Jeff's fault. So if you like this video, go on, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hoo-hoy!